Kurt Angle is a WWE legend, an Olympic gold medalist, and he's full of milk. Paul Heyman, on the other hand, is full of shit. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. And we share the same thoughts with Kurt Angle. Yes, Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist. How many Olympic golds did Paul Heyman win? None. Well, apart from maybe being a beast. Maybe he won the McDonald's Olympic gold medalist. Maybe he won the bankrupt Olympic gold medalist, the bounce checks Olympic gold medalist. But in terms of actually a positive thing, what does Paul Heyman know? He doesn't know shit, and that's what he is full of, according to Kurt Angle. Because Paul Heyman said in the WWE SummerSlam scrum that we are only in the third innings of this Bloodline story. He says we're at the bottom of the third, which would mean in a baseball game, for any of you that play baseball, the bottom of the third means that you are just approaching a third of the way through. So Paul Heyman thinks that we are a third of the way through the Bloodline story, which would mean we have another 2/3 to go, which would mean we have another 6 years to go. 6 years of the Bloodline, 6 years of Roman Reigns, 6 years of Solo Sikoa, Simone spiking anyone that tries to take the belt away from Roman Reigns. 6 years of SmackDown revolving around a guy that barely shows up and only appears once every 8 weeks. Are you shitting me, Paul Heyman? No. No, we don't need 6 more years of the Bloodline. What we need is about 6 weeks for Roman Reigns to lose the belt. Yes, please, that's what we need. We need Roman Reigns to lose his titles, and then maybe SmackDown. I think that's what would take SmackDown to the next level. As bad as Raw is, as shit as Raw is, at least Raw has a world champion, a fake world champion that isn't relevant, but a world champion nonetheless. SmackDown's got a guy that's been holding the belt hostage now for 3 years, and it's holding back everybody else. No one else is allowed to compete for the belt. No one else is allowed to be a real main eventer. Jesus Christ, you've got guys like Bobby Lashley, guys like LA Knight, but they can't do anything because Roman Reigns has took the belts to Samoa. So I completely agree with Kurt Angle. So this is what Kurt Angle had to say. He was doing his podcast. I believe his podcast is called... Is it called Got Milk? It might be called Got Milk. Either way, Kurt Angle was speaking about the Bloodline, and he referred to Paul Heyman's comments at SummerSlam when he said the whole story was at the bottom of the third inning. And this is what Kurt had to say. Quote, "The storyline is great. I love it. But I think Heyman was full of shit. I think they're in the 8th inning and they're stressed. They're making shit up now. That's what I believe. Paul Heyman, and I know him, and I know that he's probably going crazy right now. What do we do next?" End of quote. I agree with Kurt Angle. I think they are full of shit. I think the 8th inning is about right. I think they're about to move into the final chapter of this Bloodline story, and for me, the final chapter is probably Solo Sikoa turning on Roman Reigns and those two having a match for the belt. That's the only thing left to do. You can argue, you can add Jay in, or you can add Jimmy in, you can add both of them in, you can take both of them out, you can bring Rikishi in, you can do this, you can do that, but we don't care, okay? The story's been going on for far too long. Jimmy's now quit. Jay's quit. Jimmy, I don't know what Jimmy's doing. Jimmy's probably going to go to Impact and fucking wrestle with Naomi. I don't know. There's nothing else to do apart from Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. We don't need 6 more years of this. Realistically, all we need is 6 more weeks. You could end this Bloodline shit in 6 more weeks. Kurt Angle knows it. Everybody who watches wrestling knows it. But for some reason, we continue to get the Bloodline shit shoved down our throat. I don't understand it. It's been good, it's been okay, but it's dragging on now. It's time to end. Hell, if they want to keep it going, that's fair enough, but at least get the belts away from Roman Reigns, for God's sake. I mean, Evolution never lasted this long. I don't remember any stable in the history of wrestling being on top for this period of time. It's never happened. And let's be honest, I like the Bloodline, but they're not one of the best stables of all time. They're really, really not. So there's no need for them to dominate like they are. But look, I agree with Kurt Angle. I agree with the Olympic gold medalist. I believe he's right. The 8th inning, I think they're about to move on to the final chapter of this story, which I would imagine is Solo Sikoa versus Roman Reigns. Now, does Solo Sikoa beat Roman Reigns, or does Roman Reigns fend off Solo Sikoa, and then he's defeated everybody in the Bloodline? Then what happens? If that's the case, what happens after that? Does Roman Reigns just go on as a solo guy? Pun intended. Did he just go on his own with Paul Heyman and continue to defend the belt? And we're back at square one. We're back where we started with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns as a duo. So, I mean, like, what are we going to do here, guys? Make it make sense. Anyway, that's it. Kurt Angle thinks that Heyman's full of shit. I think everybody has thought that at least once in their life. And I agree with Mr. Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, because he won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. So if he can win a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, guys, I'm sure you can hit that subscribe button. Even if you've got broken fingers, I'm sure you can hit the big sub button and sub to Fog Wrestling. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.